Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivsari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivsari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopi Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute, तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदानेश्वरी, वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। बोलो श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की
जय।
हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन।
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna.
everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
कृष्णा तरुण। Hopefully everyone had a nice weekend. If the weather was good. Getting back to Srimad Bhagavatam, we are reading Canto 3 and Chapter 3. So इसमें जैसा कि हम लोग पढ़ रहे थे लास्ट 2 अध्याय से, महात्मा विदुर after all his pilgrimage he reaches at, where does he reach? Where is Mahatma Vidur right now?
Yamuna Nadi.
Yamuna river, right? So Mahatma Vidur is at Yamuna river, and then he meets whom? Uddhavji. Yeah. So we didn't forget anything over the weekend, right? So Mahatma Vidur meets Uddhavji at Yamuna river, and when they meet, both are the highest level Lord Shri Krishna devotees, and so they start वार्तालाप शुरू होता है उनके बीच में, and because Vidurji has been so far away, he asks about well-beings of everyone he knows, right, including Pandu Putra and everyone else, Maharani Kunti, and of course Lord Shri Krishna himself, everyone in Dwarika Nagari, and so on and so forth. And then Uddhavji, answering to Vidurji, he remembers everything about Lord Shri Krishna, and then he is remembering everything about Lord Shri Krishna. So he describes everything in Vrindavan, like all Lord Shri Krishna's Leela and activities. And then he also describes his activities outside Vrindavan. And like we came across like Kurukshetra, what happens and how everyone, gets moksha with how everybody gets moksha with, like just by doing Lord Shri Krishna's darshan, even in Kurukshetra. And even the enemies. So it's talking about like Deen Dayal, Karuna Sindhu, where Lord Shri Krishna's mercy is on everyone. So we'll continue that where Uddhavji, and then where Uddhavji is remembering that Lord Shri Krishna himself, when everything was like, after the Kurukshetra, he also wanted to make sure that all the big yodhas and everyone who has come together along with Lord Shri Krishna also goes back to Godhead. So I think that's where we are, and we'll read the shlok. Hare Krishna, Prashiksha Prabhu.
हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. पढ़ेंगे आप?
एक मिनट। मिथो यद्वैषा भविता विवादो मध्वा अमादा ताम्र विलोचनानां नैषां विधोपाय किया नातो अन्यो मयुध्यते अंतर्दधे स्वयं स्मः. When the quarrel among themselves, influenced by intoxication, with their eyes red like copper because of drinking madhu, then only will they disappear. Otherwise, it will not be possible. On my disappearance, this incident will take place.
Hare Krishna. So Lord Shri Krishna is thinking this way. that all the associates, how they will disappear is by somehow they will get intoxicated, and then that's how their end will come, is what Lord Shri Krishna is arranging here. Ravi?
Yes. एवं संचिन्त्य भगवान स्वराज्ये स्थापय धर्मजं नन्दयामास सुहृद साधूनां वर्तनं दर्शयन्. Lord Shri Krishna, thus thinking of himself, established Maharaja Yudhishthira in the position of the supreme control of the world in order to show the ideal of administration on the path of piety. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sadhunam Vatam Darsyam. So of course, as you all know, Maharaj Yudhishthira, after the Kurukshetra war, became the king, and then he ruling the whole world. Reena ji?
उत्तरायां धृतः पुरुर्वंशः साध्व अभिमन्युना स वै द्रोणस्य सम्प्लुष्टः पुनर्भगवता धृतः. The embryo of Puru's descendant begotten by the great hero Abhimanyu in the womb of Uttara, his wife, was burnt by the weapon of the son of Drona, but later he was again protected by the Lord. Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
right? So Uddhav ji बता रहे हैं विदुर जी को by like remembering Lord Shri Krishna, and he's mentioning also, right, that once Maharaj Parikshit becomes, after the Kurukshetra war, he becomes the king, but then just before that, right, at the end of the war, pretty much what happens is Uttara and Abhimanyu's son, who is still in the form of Uttara, who is that son?
Parikshit.
Maharaj. Mhm.
Parikshit Maharaj. Yeah, Parikshit Maharaj is the son of Abhimanyu and Uttara. Like this is this whole Srimad Bhagavatam is Sukdev Goswami ji, as we know, is reciting to Maharaj Parikshit. Yeah, and now in the whole thing where Uddhav ji is remembering that Uttara's and Abhimanyu's son, Maharaj Parikshit, was burnt by the weapon of the son of Drona. And who is the son of Drona?
Ashwatthama.
Ashwathama. Yeah.
Ashwatthama.
Ashwathama throws the Brahmastra. If you remember, we had this even in previous cantos. Yeah. And then at that time, what happens is he is protected by the Lord, right in the womb, protected by Lord Shri Krishna. Is what Uddhavji is remembering. Anilji?
Aya Jed Dharmasutam Shamed Swamedayastri Vibhurvavaha Sopi Kshama Munujo Rakshana Reme Krishna Manubrataha. The Supreme Lord induced the son of Dharma to perform 3 horse sacrifices, and Maharaja Yudhishthira, constantly following Krishna, the personality of Godhead, protected and enjoyed the earth, assisted by his younger brothers. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So Maharaj Yudhishthira and all the Pandu Putra enjoy the earth, right? Being a Rajashri king. Mayur?
भगवानपि विश्वात्मा लोकवेदथानुग कामान् सीशेवे दार्वत्यामस्तक सांख्यमास्तितम्. Simultaneously, the personality of Godhead enjoyed life in the city of Dwarka, strictly in conformity with the Vedic customs of society. He was situated in detachment and knowledge as enunciated by the Sankhya system of philosophy.
Krishna.
Hare
So,
Krishna.
in the city of Dwarka, Lord Shri Krishna stayed, right, with 16,000 Maharanis, and Maharaj Yudhishthira was in Hastinapur, right? But he was ruling the whole world pretty much. But what it's saying is that even then, even though he was Supreme Lord, he followed the Vedic customs. And Vedic customs, and those are described also in more detail in the Sankhya system. Sankhyam sthita hai. Actually, I don't know if you remember, but in Canto 1, when we are going through all the avatars, like those 24 summary of the avatars, Kapil Muni was the one who explained the Sankhya system, which talks about Prakriti, Purush, and Jeev, right? In fact, pretty much the internal potency, external potency, and the marginal potency, and how how a person can relate himself to Supreme Lord and so on and so. That is called Sankhya system. Actually, let's read this purport, Shivam.
While Maharaja Yudhishthira was the emperor of the earth, Lord Sri Krishna was the king of Dwarka and was known as Dwarkadisha. Like other subordinate kings, he was under the regime of Maharaja Yudhishthira. Although Lord Sri Krishna is the supreme emperor of the entire creation, while he was on this earth, he never violated the principles of Vedic injunctions because they are the guide for human life. Regulated human life according to Vedic principles, which are based on the system of knowledge called Sankhya philosophy, is the real way of enjoyment and of the necessities of life. Hare Krishna.
So even Lord Shri Krishna himself followed that. Tarun?
Without such knowledge, detachment, and custom, the so-called human civilization is no more than an animal society of eat, drink, be merry, and enjoy. The Lord was acting freely as he willed, yet by his practical example, he taught not to lead a life which goes against the principles of detachment and knowledge. Attainment of knowledge and detachment, as very elaborately discussed in Sankhya philosophy, is a real perfection of life.
Right.
Hare Krishna.
Sachin?
Knowledge means to know the mission of the human form of life is to end all the miseries of material existence, and that in spite of having to fulfill the bodily necessities in a regulated way, one must be detached from such animal life. Fulfilling the demands of the body is animal life. The fulfilling the mission of the spirit soul is the human mission. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So this has been explained again and again, right? And also the Sankhya philosophy. I think we can discuss that more. But what it's really saying is that what does this knowledge means, right? And what is the ultimate knowledge is that to know, and what to know, right? The ultimate knowledge is what is the mission of the human form of life, right? It is so temporary. But ultimately, we end all this misery of material existence. What are the miseries of material existence, which have been explained again and again? What are the four things, right, which are called like miseries of material existence? So it's like birth, yeah, death,
Kamamoksha.
old age, yeah, and disease. Those are the four things which comes again and again. As a material life, human being, we go through this birth, death, old age, disease in this whole cycle. And the human form's life, the mission is really to end that whole material existence, right? So what we should do is to fulfill the mission of the spirit soul is the human mission, and it has been explained. Devotional service, chanting, reading about Lord's past history, right, and Leelas is the best way to get connected to Godhead. Nisha?
स्निग्धस्मितावलोकेन वाचा पीयूषकल्पया चरित्रेण नवध्येन श्रीनिकेतेन चात्मना. He was there in his transcendental body, the residence of the goddess of fortune, with his usual gentle and sweetly smiling face, his nectarian words, and his flawless character. Hare Krishna.
It's a nice purport too, actually. So let's read this, Shivam.
In the previous verse, it is described that Lord Krishna, being situated in the truths of Sankhya philosophy, is detached from all kinds of matter. In the present verse, it is described that he is the residence of the goddess of fortune. These two things are not at all contradictory. Lord Krishna is Lord Krishna is detached from the variegatedness of the inferior nature, but he is an eternal blissful enjoyment of the spiritual nature or his internal potency. One who has a poor fund of knowledge cannot
It's
understand
echoing.
its echoing.
Oh, it's echoing now.
This
Can you read again? I mean, read from wherever you are.
one who has a poor fund of knowledge cannot understand the distinction between the external and internal potencies. Hare Krishna.
Uh, Mayur?
In Bhagavad Gita, the internal potency is described as the para prakriti. In the Vishnu Purana, also the internal potency of Vishnu is described as Parashakti. The Lord is never detached from the association of Parashakti. This Param Shakti and her manifestations are described in the Brahma Samhita 5.37 as Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabhi. The Lord is eternally joyful and cognizant in the taste derived from such transcendental bliss. Hare Krishna.
Rinaji? Rinaji?
Negation of the variegatedness of the inferior energy does not necessitate negation of the positive transcendental bliss of the spiritual world. Therefore, the Lord's gentleness, his smile, his character, and everything related to him are all transcendental. Such manifestations of the internal potency are the reality, of which the material shadow is only a temporary representation from which everyone with proper knowledge must be detached. Hare Krishna.
You're on mute.
Yeah, I have to go on mute for this echo thing. I don't know why it comes in between sometimes. So anyway, so point is, in Bhagavad Gita, the internal potency is described as para prakriti. And also it's giving example of Vishnu Puran and Brahma Samhita, how the Ananda Chinmaya Ras Pratibha Vitabhir is described, how the Lord is eternally joyful. So there is a difference in eternally transcendental bliss and the material side of things, right? Should we? Do you still hear the echo?
No.
No, it's okay.
Okay now? Okay. Cool. Tarun, पढ़ोगे?
देवाधीनेषु कामेषु देवाधीनं स्वयं पुमानं को विश्रभेत योगेन योगे shranamanu-vratah. Every living entity is controlled by a supernatural force, and thus his sense enjoyment is also under the control of that supernatural force. No one, therefore, can put his faith in Lord Krishna's transcendental sense activities, but one who has become a devotee of the Lord by rendering devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Right? It has been mentioned, it's very difficult to understand, Lord Sri Krishna's activities and all that, unless you understand the transcendental nature, transcendental activities, and that you can understand only by becoming a devotee of the Lord, right? So as stated in Bhagavad Gita, no one can understand the transcendental birth and activities of the Lord unless you start rendering the devotional service. Anil?
कुर्यां कदाचित् क्रीडद्भिर्दुभोज कुमारकैः कोपिता मुनयः शेपुर्भगवन्तं कोविदा. Once upon a time, great sages were made angry by the sporting activities of the princely descendants of the Yadu and Bhoj dynasties, and thus, as desired by the Lord, the sages cursed them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So हम लोगों ने previous श्लोक में पढ़ रहे थे कि how Lord Krishna is trying to think of all the Yadu and Bhoj dynasties, how they can also go back from here, right? So his Leela, he has like something where the sages curse them to go back. And we'll see how that happens, Sachin.
ततः कति पर्ययमार सैभुष्णी भोजान्ध कादयः ययुः प्रभासं संहृष्टा रथय दैवर vimohitah. A few months passed, and then, bewildered by Krishna, all the descendants of Vrishni, Bhoja, and Andaka, who were incarnations of demigods, went to Prabhasa, while those who were eternal devotees of the Lord did not leave but remained in Dwarka. Hare Krishna.
Right. So how Lord Krishna arranges, right? So all the Bhoj and Vrishni, but even though they are incarnations of the demigods, right? So they went to Prabhas, and then we'll see what happens next, right? Anisha?
तत्र स्नात्वा पितॄन् देवान् ऋषींश्चैव तदभ्यसा तर्पयित्वाथ पितृभ्यो गावो बहुगुणा ददुः. After arriving there, all of them bathed with the water of this place of pilgrimage. They offered their respects to the forefathers, demigods, and great sages, and thus satisfied them. They gave cows to the Brahmins in royal charity. Hare Krishna.
Right. So all the Yadu dynasty, right? They all went to Prabhas, and it's kind of like a pilgrimage, and they did all kind of donations and rituals as per the Vedas. Rinaji?
हिरण्यं रजतं शयान् वासान् सजिन कम्बलान् यार्णं रथानिभान् कन्या धरां वृत्ति करेमपि. The Brahmanas were not only given well-fed cows in charity, but also gold coins, bedding, clothing, animal skin seeds, blankets, horses, elephants, girls, and sufficient land for maintenance. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Right? And Shiksha Prabhuji?
अन्नं चौरुरुषं तेभ्यं दत्वा भगवत् अर्पणं गोवी प्रार्थसवः शूरा प्राणे मूर्धिभिः. Thereafter, they offered the Brahmanas highly delicious foodstuff first offered to the personality of Godhead and offered their respectful obeisances by touching their heads to the ground. They lived perfectly by protecting the cow and the Brahmanas.
Hare Krishna. It shows like how the prasad is offered first, and then you take it, and then how they were donating. So this story is going on, and then we'll see, how they get cursed, and then what happens next, right? But they are at the Prabhas river, and in fact, actually, as you can see, this ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport of the third chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled "The Lord's Pastimes out of Vrindavan. So bolo Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So tomorrow
Jai.
we'll start Adhyay 4th, right? So that's cool. I mean, we just started and we already completed 3 chapters, isn't it? So now Mahatma Vidur's story continues still. And of course, he's yet to meet the Maitreya Muni, where we will see a lot more spiritual conversation between Mahatma Vidur and Maitreya Muni. And we only have 2 minutes actually. So today, let's start the Kirtan and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
जय राधे जय कृष्णा जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जय राधे जय कृष्णा जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गो